Question will be posed to a candidate who will have 2 minutes to respond.
We need to create a dynamic in our city where we actually understand that. It's all part and parcel of the context of this debate about putting real power at the neighborhood level, where we've actually got decision-making mechanisms that involve local communities, and that's not just about planning in the built form sense, but the social sense as well. I want to dedicate resources to those things, frontline services, and to do so, I'm prepared to find a way to thin out the ranks of those that are involved in administration at the city.
That we are one city, one family, and so 50% of those funds will go into a matching fund at the Toronto Community Foundation or elsewhere for dollar matching for additional programs in the priority neighborhoods. And finally, let's not just ghettoize it, let's use the purchasing power of the city and building decisions to build in these key areas and revitalize them.
Has experience both in the private sector and in the public sector. I'm the only one on stage that can say that. I've been very, very fortunate to inherit my father's company and create 250 jobs. I've done that for 20 years. I understand how to create a job and how to meet a payroll. And I was always told, always, you watch the dimes, son, you watch the pennies, and the dollars will take care of themselves.
Which means if we don't focus our resources, those Torontonians who are most in need, which are in the inner suburbs. The recession is with us, as it has people more than anybody else can think of. The Three Neighborhoods project has been very successful. It's allowed a lot of young people to be hired by the city directly, and we have done that by doing outreach in those areas, whether they're police officers, firefighters, or other kind of worker. It's allowed the private sector to hire directly from those areas.
Anyway, I just attended the mayoral debate at the St. Lawrence Center for the Arts, and 4 of the candidates were questioned. They all seem to have, something to add to the city if they become mayor, but they're obviously from different backgrounds, and so it's hard to figure out which one is actually going to be the best man for the position. But then again, because the voters were also from different backgrounds, we probably will carry in our biases when we vote on October 25th. But it was actually interesting to realize that really, when you're talking about the economy and the city of Toronto, I think the main concern is for the poor priority neighborhoods that need development and need funding for employment, housing, and see, the middle class and the rich people can take care of themselves. They're not affected by this recession or depression. It's only the poor people who are unemployed who are actually the main concern for government. So if funding is needed to improve the economy for the poor neighborhoods and the unemployed people, hopefully whoever gains the position of mayor will be able to convince, the government and direct public funding towards these areas and people who need help. Anyway, so even poor people should vote on October 25th, because if funding is going to be directed towards poor people should pick the person who seems to represent the needs of the poor the best, because that's where the funding is needed to improve the economy. The 4 who were on stage are well spoken, and I'm sure they're all leaders in their own areas. So when it comes to leading the city of Toronto, we just have to make sure that whoever is going to win is going to help the poor priority neighborhoods the most, because those are the ones who really need help, because the middle class and the rich people can take care of themselves.